Lennox Lewis is one of the greatest heavyweights in boxing history. The British legend dominated the heavyweight boxing scene from 1989 to 2003. He was a three-time world heavyweight champion and undisputed king of the division. Standing at 6 feet 5 inches, Lewis was an imposing figure in the ring, known for his boxing IQ, speed, and blistering power. Before turning pro, Lewis had a successful amateur career which culminated in a gold medal at the Seoul Olympics in 1988. He went on to have an illustrious career, beating every opponent he ever faced. Lewis retired with a professional record of 41-2-1, with 32 of those victories coming by way of knockout. In this video, we will remember all the knockouts of Lennox Lewis's career. Lewis made his pro debut in June 1989 against local champion Al Malcolm.
First look at the Cockney-turned Canadian.
Lewis pounded away at Malcolm, knocking him down in the first round.
Al Malcolm's been in twice with Gary Mason and, oh dear, left hook there. It put him right on the point of the jaw. Is he going to make it? He's going to get the full...
Malcolm got up and gamely fought back to make it to the end of the round. But Lewis came back in round 2 and ended the fight for good.
What happened there? I didn't really see that punch. It caught him in the eye and he's looking as though he's saying he's hit me in the eye, I don't want to get up. And referee Francis is going to count him out, I suspect.
Lewis faced American journeyman Bruce Johnson in his second professional bout. Once again, Lewis displayed a dominant performance against Johnson in this one-sided bout.
He wanted to prime and dive in, but he gave him a bit of a chance, I suppose, but it's all...
The fight was stopped in round 2 as Johnson had no answer to Lewis's relentless attacks.
And it's over at the start of the second round. So just another warm-up exercise for Lennox Lewis, a man who's got a big company backing in the United Kingdom. He was born in West Ham. Resides in Canada and now in New Jersey. So, long term, they're looking to make something of this fellow.
In his next fight, Lewis faced veteran boxer Andrew Gerrard, who had over 40 fights to his record.
Lewis, as you see.
The veteran boxer, who was known for his durability, withstood some of the early onslaught from Lewis and responded with a few counters of his own.
To go all the way in the
Gerrard became the first boxer to take Lewis beyond the second round. However, the continuous punishment from Lewis took a toll on him, and the fight was stopped in the fourth round.
He's not succeeding in that, but he's landing anyway, and the referee's had enough, and that's quite right, and Gerrard agrees, and he gets stopped for the fourth time in his career. Courageous effort. But a good performance by Lennox Lewis. But Gerrard was definitely taking too much right at the end there. There was no point in it.
In October 1989, Lewis faced his fourth opponent in the person of Steve Garber. Garber, who had previously only been stopped twice in 10 losses, was known for his toughness and durability. However, Lewis needed just 90 seconds to demolish Garber and earn his fourth victory. Lewis stayed busy in his first year as a pro, fighting a total of 6 times. He won his 5th fight against Melvin Epps by disqualification.
Body shots really are punishing, and this is turning into an ugly and unsightly brawl.
Before facing Greg Gorrell in his first scheduled 8-round bout. Lewis dwarfed his 5'11" opponent and physically imposed himself on him from the outset before dropping him late in the opening round.
Target, whether it's to the body or the... Showing him the right again. Oh, what a good one. Driven right through. Well, he's got to his feet unstepped.
Gorrell survived the knockdown, but Lewis mercilessly pummeled him for the rest of the fight.
There's the bell. And Lewis is going to the finish. Well, when he's in action like this, he really does look like a good prospect.
The contest ended 51 seconds into the 5th round after Lewis scored a knockout.
Another right, and he's over for the second time. He couldn't go on with that eye. And he's cut on the nose as well. And so, Lewis marks up win number 6.
Lewis faced former British heavyweight contender Noel Quarless, who handed Anders Eklund his first defeat, and beat former WBA heavyweight champion John Tate on points.
He's a pro, and I bet he's done his own work in detail.
Quarless gave Lewis a good fight, using his body movement to evade incoming punches while throwing counters of his own.
Fair one to right.
But in round 2, Lewis caught Quarless flush and dropped him to the canvas.
Right hand. Quarless down.
Quarless bravely got up, but appeared dazed. Sensing that the end was near, Lewis went for the kill and got it.
Very well, he's in range all the time.
All over the place, the guard gone.
Yeah,
the right's getting through, and he's down, and he won't get up from that. He won't get up from that. And if he does, Roy Francis, I'm sure, won't let it continue.
For his next fight, Lewis took on American Calvin Jones in a scheduled 8-round bout.
Since Bob Fitzsimmons at the end of the last.
Jones came out swinging from the opening bell, throwing every punch with the intent to hurt Lewis.
Lewis, as you can see, in the white. Jones stopped in the 9th round, and in that fight, Jones in fact fractured a jaw.
However, Lewis stunned Jones with a hard right to the head and followed up with a series of punches, eventually dropping Jones.
Jones in some trouble here in the opening round and desperate to cover up a right hand, pitches him forward. This is going to be an early night for Lennox Lewis. He's up at 8, but these are very trying.
The American got up and tried to fight back, but Lewis made him pay for his aggression with the first round knockout.
Look for the opening, and there Lewis mustn't get too careless, but look at him digging in the punches to body and head, and there's another right that really rocked Jones. And this could be a very quick finish indeed. Clubbing right, Jones desperately trying to cover up. He's pitched forward, and this could be it. Will Calvin Jones get up? I don't think he really wants to, and he doesn't. First round, knockout for...
In April 1990, Lewis faced hard-hitting Michael Simuwelu from Zambia.
A lot nearer to him than maybe everyone thought a little while ago.
You reckon he's as good as they say?
He's got to be Olympic champion.
The bout started with both men looking to establish their range and find openings to land. But less than a minute into the fight, this happened.
Doesn't want to take too many of those, though. Oh, and a left hook has Simuwelu down, and the African won't want to take too many of them.
That's
Roy
all
Francis
over.
picks up the count at 5. The count is at 8, and that's it.
In his 10th professional fight, Lewis faced Argentina's Jorge Dascola. The durable Dascola had only been stopped once against former WBA heavyweight champion Michael Dokes in his last fight. Lewis came out firing from the bell and dropped Dascola with a powerful right inside the first 10 seconds of the bout.
Right hand knockdown inside 10 seconds.
That was a good shot, bang on. He's going to do
Count is 7.
Dascola gamely got back to his feet and tried to fight on, but Lewis continued to come forward, eventually ending the show in round 1.
Still here, and every signs of surviving it through to the end of the first round. Well, slumped to his knees. That was on the blind side of me. I didn't see the punch that did it. It stopped. Right. No, Larry O'Connell's had enough. Larry O'Connell's had enough. Dascola desperately appealing.
Next, Lewis squared off against American Dan Murphy, who had an impressive record of 26 wins and only 4 defeats.
So the supporting cast clear the ring, and we're set for the big one. Instead of those big...
The opening round saw Murphy attempting to stay away from Lewis's power by circling around the ring.
No, that was nice and relaxed.
However, the Olympic gold medalist went after Murphy, hurting him with hard punches to the body and head.
To impress, and victory means everything.
Although Murphy offered little in the way of offense, he managed to survive the first 5 rounds by avoiding Lewis. Unfortunately, there was nowhere to hide from Lewis, who ended the fight in the 6th round.
You can't help but wonder how much more stick to the body he can take without wilting. Still got trouble with his breathing. Nose has bled quite freely from the early stages.
Lennox intimidating him.
Lewis was taking the full distance for the first time in his next fight against former world cruiserweight champion Acey.
Only one possible.
Following this, he faced trial horse Mike Acey in his first scheduled 10-round bout.
I think he's going to have a... Oh, thanks very much. My wife's going to love you for this, by the way. Round number 1. And Lennox coming out with a couple flat...
There was no feeling out process in the bout, as Acey took the fight to Lewis from the opening bell. But Acey soon tasted Lewis's power and was floored twice in the first round.
Ruddock Bow ranked number 10, Morrison ranked number 12. Oh, boy.
That was...
Did he hit him?
A straight right hand that started it off, and then a left hook, and Acey's down in the first round. And this is not what the people in Lennox...
Acey managed to make it out of the first round, but Lewis resumed the attack in round 2 and ended the fight moments later.
His jab is like a sledgehammer in there. It's like a George Foreman, only that much quicker. He really damages his opponent with that jab.
But what they want to see Lennox do is fight against all the top opposition. You got to give the kid time to develop.
This fight is over. It was a right to the body and then another left to the solar plexus. And I can't believe that Mike Acey is getting up, and he is, but Harry Davis says that is enough. And well, it should be. Crowds booing. Impressive showing.
In October 1990, Lewis got his first shot at a boxing title against Frenchman Jean-Maurice Chanet for the European heavyweight title. The defending champion Chanet was coming off 2 consecutive victories over Derek Williams and represented a step up in the level of opposition for Lewis.
It's just you.
The size of Lewis.
However, Lewis imposed his size advantage on the smaller Chanet from the opening bell as he walked him down the whole fight.
No problem.
Well, Chanet, who is not regarded as a big puncher, has got to give it.
Chanet fought back bravely, but Lewis simply stalked him and landed the bigger shot in every exchange.
Well, let's see if Lewis can do this in style.
He hasn't really thought about the task that he's going to be facing.
To his credit, Chanet remained on his feet, but the contest was halted in the 6th round due to a deep cut caused by Lewis's punch.
The eye pouring blood. That's got to be it. Doctor says no. That's it. It's all over. It has to be finished. And it is.
Good decision from the referee. And
we have a new champion.
European champion Lennox Lewis.
In his next fight in March 1991, Lewis defended his newly won title against undefeated and highly ranked British champion Gary Mason. The hard-hitting Mason was fighting for the 2nd time, following a brief retirement due to a detached retina.
Of Lewis. Ranking very much at stake. Lennox Lewis in black. He has the...
The bout got off to a fast start, with both men trading heavy punches. Lewis used his blistering speed to land stinging shots, but Mason seemed to have an answer for everything Lewis threw at him.
And reach is telling at the moment. That was a bit of right hand from Mason, and that gave the last fight of Cooper's career. The pro is certainly fighting coolly enough here, but he's hurt again by right hand, but comes instantly back.
However, the effect of Lewis's punches began to show on Mason's face from the 3rd round, as swelling appeared on his right eye.
Once again, as Mason's right hand thunders into his head. Mason now, perhaps. Mason needs a KO blow here. Lewis standing there taking these punches. Not entirely good point from Lewis. Lewis's mouth looks quite marked.
Despite the injury, Mason increased his output and tried to force a stoppage. However, it was to no avail as Lewis continued to batter his face until the referee mercifully stopped the fight in the 7th round.
He screwed his face up in pain, and I really do think this is going to have to be brought to an end in a minute. But Mason is having one last desperate go in round 7. He's putting everything into a do-or-die effort. And it's called off. That was the last fling for Gary Mason. And the sympathetic O'Connell puts his hands round the battered head of Mason and says, "You're not going to take any more, son." And that's right enough. And so Lennox Lewis is being joyously proclaimed now the British and European champion. He marks up his 15th successive professional win.
Lewis's level of opposition continued to improve as his next fight in June 1992 was against former WBA heavyweight champion Mike Weaver.
WBA с Джоном Тейтом проигрывал 14,5 раундов, в общем, по очкам уступал.
Weaver came right at Lewis from the opening bell, but was tagged with multiple hard shots from Lewis.
91 год, и вот первый серьезный удар правый, размашистый Льюиса. И серия после него таким. Ну, как мы видим, экс-чемпионом мира. И, в общем, к бою Кстати, вот, ну, может быть, это продиктовано тем, что Weaver...
Although Weaver put up a spirited effort and had a few moments of success, Lewis easily dominated the fight and produced a stunning knockout victory in round 6.
Вот так. Пару джебов провел Weaver, но ему это обошлось в нокаут. Ударом справа, одним ударом справа Льюис поставил точку в этом бою. Девенпорт от радости аж кепку потерял.
Lewis made the next defense of his European and British heavyweight titles against former world cruiserweight champion Glenn McCrory. This was McCrory's second fight in the heavyweight division. Lewis controlled the fight from the opening bell, battering the former cruiserweight champion around the ring.
But that was very weight weakened. Yeah, drawn some blood already from one of those uppercuts. Throwing some artillery at him there, Lewis, the uppercuts, overarm punches.
McCrory found himself backed against the ropes in round 1 and was on the verge of being knocked out, but was saved by the bell.
McCrory is not mobile enough, he'll have to use his legs, but already he's feeling the pace. It's the roughest I've seen Lewis, I tell you.
However, Lewis picked up from where he left in the second round and floored McCrory twice to win the fight.
Oh, the right hand uppercut did it. And John Cord showing the finger count as well to make sure that he understands it perfectly. Has his ability, but Lewis has taken the play away and the fight away from him, and a long right hand. Now that was a replica of the one that he caught Mike Weaver with, and I don't think he's going to make this count now. 9, and he's out. He's out in the act of rising, they call that. And the referee was quite right to count McCrory out in the second round. Well, he gave it all he's got there.
In November 1991, Lewis faced former amateur rival Tyrell Briggs. The pair had previously met at the 1984 Olympic Games, where Briggs defeated Lewis in the quarterfinals before going on to win the gold medal.
By the WBC, Tyrell Briggs, after his loss to Bo, is no longer ranked in the top 10 by any organization. Lewis comes out firing and lands a right hand to drive Bo into the ropes.
The bout got off to a tentative start, where neither fighter was able to deliver any significant offense.
In the past was that he tried to punch and get out of the way at the same time.
Continues to step forward. That right. And Briggs with a left to the body and a left over the top.
Good stiff left hook by Tyrell Briggs. A couple of good solid punches. He can get that adrenaline flowing, but he can get discouraged.
But Lewis upped his work rate in round 3 and immediately put Briggs down with an overhand right.
Particularly for a guy who's 6 feet 5 inches tall, and down goes Briggs from the solid right cross.
That was a good solid right hand right on the chin.
7, 8.
Tyrell's going to get up at 8.
Here we are.
Briggs quickly got back up, but he was floored 2 more times before the fight was stopped in round 3.
And there's another right hand, and that might be it.
That might be it.
Well, he's going to make one more try.
8, you okay?
No 3 knockdown rule. So Tyrell can go down again without automatically being out of the fight. Both knockdowns were on the right cross. Lewis throws another one. Briggs goes down again, and the referee's seen enough.
That's an impressive victory for Lennox Lewis. A good scalp to have. And I'll go in the ring and find out where he's going from here.
Okay, let's do that, Larry. See if he's going to pick his next opponent by committee or who's going to pick.
After Lewis got his revenge over Tyrell Briggs, he defeated trial horse Levi Billups by decision. Following this, he defended his European and British heavyweight titles against Derek Williams, whose Commonwealth Championship was also on the line.
Known past form. Away they go. Lennox Lewis in the black trunks. He's seen that Lennox Lewis can be not a dirty fighter, he said, but he does throw illegal blows.
The bout started slowly in the first 2 rounds, but Lewis soon found his range in the third and pounced on Williams.
Just missing its target. Oh, what a right uppercut, and another one, and a right, and down Williams goes. That was impressive. Is he going to get up from that? 7, 8, 9, it's close, it stopped.
Lewis handed the Commonwealth champion the first knockout defeat of his career.
It's a good right uppercut there, and he threw the shots together, and he's hurt him. Williams was hurt before that, and he just kept the pressure on with big clubbing shots.
In August 1992, Lewis squared off against American Mike Dixon in a 10-round bout.
Not too many chances here. If he was to lose this one, it would be an absolute sensation, Glenn.
Both men got off to work from the start without a feeling-out process, but the fight soon became one-way traffic and target practice for Lewis.
Body punches, jabs, and unbeaten in 20 contests so far, 17 of them inside.
Trying to keep his hands and really putting Lennox in the north, and a good right hand there, very sure.
Although Dixon managed to remain on his feet throughout, he continued to take a lot of punishment from Lewis.
Well, I think you have to say that it's so far not much more than a gym workout for Lewis, but he's starting to crash home some quite heavy shots here, uppercuts, body shots, and Dixon having to cover up, and I think he's been hurt a little bit. He's reeling.
Lewis is unloading the big bombs now. I think he thinks it's time to get him out of there.
He received a standing count in the 4th round before the referee mercifully stopped the fight moments later.
Breathes heavily, but Lewis here could be on the verge of finishing this off. Another crashing right, and this time Battle says that's enough. Dixon goes through the motions of protesting, but the protests didn't look entirely wholehearted, did they?
No, he took some good shots there, and it was a good time to call a halt. Then Lewis did it.
Now ranked number 2 by the WBC, Lewis faced the number 1 contender, Donovan Ruddock, in a heavyweight title eliminator in October 1992. Ruddock had previously beaten Lewis when the two first met as amateurs.
And for Lewis, wins over Ocasio, Weaver, Tyrell, Briggs, Levi Billups.
Lewis came out strong and dropped Ruddock in the final seconds of round 1.
Big right hand by Lewis, and down is Ruddock. Fireworks from Lennox Lewis at the end 1.
The Olympic gold medalist continued his impressive performance in the second round, dropping Ruddock 2 more times to avenge his loss.
Ruddock already in trouble and down for the second time in this fight. And here comes Lewis trying to put an early end to this. Opportunism. Big right hands by Lewis. Down goes Ruddock again. Does he have it in him to beat the count? Joe Cortez says no, it's over. Lennox Lewis with an explosive second round knockout.
Following this, Lewis became the mandatory challenger for Riddick Bowe's heavyweight championship. However, Bowe, who came up short against Lewis in the finals of the 1984 Olympic Games, refused to face him.
Ruddock was afraid of you.
I'm gonna knock you out.
You was a chump. You gonna knock nothing out, boy.
I'm gonna knock you out.
You gonna knock nothing out.
You know I'm gonna knock
nothing out. Why you know do it then? Do it then. You ain't do shit. I ain't know come off my feet. You're the champion. You had help from the ref. Well, knock me out. Knock me out there, boy.
You ain't nothing to me.
Oh, watch your mouth, fucker.
Hey, look, man, put you another way, man. You ain't nothing to me.
And now let's take a look at the road to the title.
Therefore, Lewis was upgraded to the WBC heavyweight champion in December 1992.
To show the world.
Lewis made the second defense of his WBC heavyweight title against fellow Brit Frank Bruno. His first defense was a lopsided decision victory over American Tony Tucker, while this was Bruno's third attempt at becoming a world champion.
Bruno pounding his fists together to jack himself up. Mickey Van pulls them together and round 1 begins. Lewis starts with a jab and a wild right while ducking his head, then lands a left hook.
Bruno took the fight to the champion from the opening round, fighting behind the jab, which caused a swelling around Lewis's left eye.
Listen to hit him hard and back up and draw Frank Bruno into his right hand.
Sugar Ray Leonard keeping up a stream of instructions.
He shouldn't wait all night. Things just don't happen.
In recent fights, Bruno has begun to use some of the brawling.
With Lennox Lewis, you're going to get knocked out.
Lewis rallying to begin round 3. Here against Williams.
Good right hand by Bruno.
Right hand. Bruno has Lewis in serious trouble. Let's see if Lennox knows.
This is the time for Bruno to get close and stay close. But you're not going to be able to land a good straight right hand.
Bruno trying to finish. Remember, he had Tyson and Bruno's jabs.
But in turn, Lewis also landed numerous jabs, which gave Bruno a swollen left eye.
Another right hand over the top.
And that's a few times. That hurts him more now. That right hand is hurt.
But he almost landed the killer combo. Now his eye becomes a factor, just as Bruno's is. Right hand landed.
By the end of the first half of the fight, 2 judges scored the fight even, but the third judge had Lewis ahead by 2 points. Bruno started the 7th round strongly, landing clean shots, and Lewis seemed to be in danger of losing his world title.
Fight. Just doesn't have any respect.
Lewis in trouble in the corner and lands a sensational.
But suddenly, Lewis clubbed Bruno with a left hook, which stunned the challenger.
Serious trouble. He's got him now if he can finish. Right hand over the top. It was a left hook that turned this around, and a frozen Frank Bruno is there taking punishment. And Mickey Van is going to stop it. No, he's not going to stop it. He is lecturing Lewis. Holding and hitting.
A few more punches later, and Lewis retained his championship.
Can Bruno recover? He's going down.
It's amazing that Bruno stands up
Now Mickey Van stops the fight. It was a one-punch comeback. Lennox Lewis, desperately behind on the scorecards, produced a sensational left hook.
And who would suspect a left hook of all the punches?
Frank Bruno didn't, and that was his downfall.
You pointed out that Bruno took away the right hand, and you said, Larry, the question was, could Lennox find another way to win? He found the left hook.
Did he find it? And it was a left hook that reminded me of the one in Tokyo that Buster Douglas put on Mike Tyson.
It was a left hook that reminded me of the one that Evander Holyfield used to turn around his fight with Bert Cooper in Atlanta a couple of years ago.
You remember earlier I said that Frank Bruno was asking Lennox Lewis questions he had never been asked before. We have seen Bruno before be very tough in the first half of a fight. Lewis answered the question, and he answered it affirmatively. He stayed in there, he found a way to win, he had faith in his power. When you got power, you're always in.
Lewis's next title defense was against American challenger Phil Jackson. Although Jackson came into the bout with an impressive record of 30 wins and only one loss, none of his victories had come against a notable opponent.
Lewis back up. Lewis expects Jackson to come at him low.
In a stunning display of dominance, Lewis dropped Jackson in the opening seconds of the fight.
Punches. There's a right hand and down goes Jackson.
5, 6, 7.
The champion left no question of who the better fighter was as he continued to dominate the fight, dropping Jackson 2 more times before the fight was waved off in the 8th round.
Right now.
And Lewis gets in a couple.
Son, never give up. He had to be the standard bearer for it.
Right hand by Lewis after a couple of uppercuts. Jackson goes down and Mercanti has seen enough. Arthur Mercanti stops the fight. 1:25 remaining in the 8th, bringing to an end a siege of punishment over the course of the final 4 rounds of the bout by Lennox Lewis.
I thought he looked as good the last several rounds as he looked awkward and off center the first few rounds.
You agree, George?
Following Lewis's outstanding performance against Phil Jackson, he suffered a devastating second-round loss to Oliver McCall in his next defense.
Scully, Wembley Arena. Lewis now coming in, flicks out that jab. Oh, it's a short right hand. A short right hand.
That's
just
what he
the way
called.
McCall
That's what he said.
Hey, and Lewis doesn't look good.
9.
This fight is over. It is over.
In his first comeback fight, he faced Lionel Butler in a WBC eliminator bout.
As Denkin gave instructions, Pepe Correa, Lennox Lewis's former trainer, stared at the former champion with hatred in his eyes, but couldn't get eye contact in return. Lennox was looking at his man, Lionel Butler.
Butler started as the aggressor, taking the fight to Lewis in the opening round. However, the much taller Lewis used his height and reach advantage to control the distance and win the first 4 rounds.
How far he is away from you, that's throwing him off a little bit.
Butler landed a left hand. Lewis cracked with a right. And there
he cracks you 2 or 3 times. Woo!
Coming into the 5th round, Lewis sent Butler to the canvas with a quick combination.
Another hard right hand, and down goes Butler.
3, 4, you all right? 5, get your hands up. 6.
Butler gamely got up and fought back, but appeared visibly exhausted and was knocked out by the end of the round.
But he's getting better here as he goes along. And that right hand might be enough to finish it. And it is.
Marty Dinkins is doing a wonderful job now.
And the thunder is still there in Lennox Lewis's right hand.
And we saw the result of a more intelligent, more cautious Lennox Lewis beating his man.
In his next fight, Lewis took on Australia's Justin Fortune in a scheduled 10-round bout.
How good is Lewis going to look here? He's expected to get this job done in comprehensive fashion. And you can see
Fortune, who was 6 inches shorter than Lewis, had trouble getting inside to land punches.
that he can get lucky with one punch in the way that...
No, I think he's got to try and get Fortune on the end of the jab first.
Other success there with his left hook. Oh, that's right eye of Fortune. He's caught again. Lewis is starting to have significantly more artillery like that.
Meanwhile, Lewis controlled the fight from the distance, landing power shots at will before ending the show with barely a minute left in the 4th round.
Stage, breaking the spirit and resistance, and there's a lot of it. Fortune is caught here and in terrible trouble, and it stopped. Oh, it stopped. Even before he hit the floor, Roy Francis had decided that that was enough. In round 4, a series of punches, a cluster, classy uppercuts, and Lennox Lewis.
Unable to get an immediate rematch with Oliver McCall, Lewis challenged former WBO champion Tommy Morrison for his IBC heavyweight title.
Fight, how to ease his way into a bout, not looking. I don't think I can outbox Lennox Lewis. I don't even...
This is a bad habit is because the best time to hit a guy, like I said, Morrison needs to move his head more. He's making himself a still target for Lewis. Like I told you before, Morrison has the I give up look on him.
Morrison.
Following a tentative first round, Lewis opened up more in the second round and dropped Morrison with a left hook.
Long stride, and there's a good body shot.
Good body shot by Morrison, but he goes down, so score it a knockdown for Lewis.
The punch also opened a cut above Morrison's right eye, which progressively grew worse as the fight continued.
Both fighters more aggressive now.
Lennox dictate the pace. You can count for
the round for Lewis. Mills Lane gets him at the distance again.
Lewis once again dropped an exhausted Morrison in the 5th round with a vicious uppercut.
And there's a monumental uppercut. Morrison went to one knee. Lane calls it a knockdown, correctly so. Morrison knew it. He went immediately to the neutral corner, and that right eye's looking pretty bad.
This fight is basically over, like I told you before.
Bringing it back the way you're supposed to.
Morrison made it out of the round, but Lewis resumed the attack in round 6, dropping the former WBO champion 2 more times before the fight was stopped.
Down goes Morrison again, and this is becoming a blowout.
Beating.
Lane's getting very close to a stoppage here. You get that sense. Down goes Morrison again, and I wonder if Mills has seen enough. There is no 3 knockdown rule in effect. That's the 4th knockdown of the fight, and that'll do it.
After a close decision victory over Ray Mercer, Lewis finally got another shot at the WBC title in a rematch against Oliver McCall in May 1996.
If we get ready, there's on to a right hand. Round number 1. Look for Lennox Lewis to be more active with his jab. McCall backing him up. Gotta remember something, a lot of credit.
Lewis had no trouble against McCall, who offered little in terms of offense throughout the fight.
Less than 10 seconds left in round number 2. Right there, that was a good right hand. That was a good right hand. And McCall is now stunned, and he's just now like... And McCall trying to play...
But in one of the strangest moments in boxing history, McCall refused to return to his corner after the end of the 3rd.
What's going to happen with the judges when he sees something like this? Cannot believe it. Oliver McCall just like standing there.
In the 4th round, McCall started wandering around the ring.
It's obvious that right now all the pops and buzzers are going off in Oliver McCall's head. What's going on here?
Watch Mills Lane. Watch Mills Lane go action. The referee's going to have something to say about that. Tell him Mills Lane will go into him.
Oliver McCall's having, like, it seems like a nervous breakdown in the ring. Go to the corner.
Despite Lewis's attempt to get McCall to show some seriousness, he remained cold and began crying.
He don't belong in a ring. He doesn't belong in the ring. I would suspend him.
He's complaining.
The fight was eventually stopped in the 5th round as Lewis reclaimed his title. Lewis's first defense was against Henry Akinwande, who was disqualified in the 5th round for excessive holding.
In Madison Square Garden. 4 months later, Atlantic City Convention Center. Golata.
It's the end of the fight. We've had another disqualification.
Yep.
Following this, he made the next defense against Poland's Andrew Golata in October 1997.
Andrew, Lennox, okay, Tyson, go.
Wants it badly.
Who will land the first heavy punch between these? More tentative at the outset.
Although many expected fireworks, the fight was one-sided as Lewis blasted through Golata, dropping him in the first minute of the fight.
Left hook by Lewis. Golata goes down. Only the second time in his career that Andrew Golata has been down, and he is extremely wobbly as he gets up.
Golata got back up on unsteady legs, but Lewis went for the kill and ended the fight in 95 seconds.
Referee should stop it already.
Cortez gave Golata a lot of time, but he has absolutely nothing as Lewis pounds him to the canvas again.
He won't make
That's it. That's it. Tremendous statement by Lennox Lewis.
A big statement. A tremendous statement.
He's been waiting for years, and it finally happened.
Andrew Golata had been warned by his camp that Lewis would come out quickly, but he...
The next challenger for Lewis's WBC title was lineal champion Shannon Briggs.
Come on, come on, come on.
Test the chin of Shannon Briggs. Lewis was up a little bit too far forward and driven back, and here we go with Lewis as a fast starter. Big key in many of his fights.
Lewis took the fight to Briggs from the opening bell and controlled the round using his strong jab.
Observers feel as to take this.
However, with only 30 seconds left, Briggs caught Lewis with an overhand left
Set itself up.
and followed up with a sustained attack.
Briggs taking his chance. A hook to Lewis. Briggs coming on. Big opportunity for Shannon Briggs. Right in the face of Lennox Lewis. Chopping right hand, and Lewis is reeling. Here comes Briggs with a leaping left hand. Lewis hanging on for dear life in this fight. Round 1, a beauty.
Lewis was saved by the bell, but found himself in trouble once again in the 2nd round.
So Briggs shakes his head. Yes, a good hook by Briggs. Lewis again. Back to the corner. Briggs going all out. They both have good jabs. It has been excellent thus far, with Lewis perhaps starting to take over. Hook by Lewis. Driving Briggs back.
However, Lewis rallied back in the 4th round and dropped Briggs twice in the round.
Both fighters sprinted out of the gate, and Briggs is down.
5, 6, 7.
Lewis taking over here at the end of round 3 and in round 4, and Briggs is top. Lewis gets hit by Briggs. Now Briggs comes on again. Both fighters too tired to finish it, and Briggs is down again.
5, 6.
Can Briggs make it?
7, 8.
Up at 8.
Briggs made it out of the round, but Lewis continued to punish him through the 5th round and knocked Briggs down for the 3rd time in the fight.
And Briggs is down. It may be it. He was blocked.
4, 5, 6, 7.
He shows his...
To his credit, Briggs got back to his feet, but couldn't survive for much longer.
He's getting hit with shots by Lewis. Uppercut, left hook, the right hand. Briggs goes down on his own accord, and it's over.
Lewis's next 3 defenses all went the distance, including 2 tough bouts with Evander Holyfield for the Undisputed Heavyweight Championship. However, Lewis was stripped of the WBA title when he chose to face Michael Grant instead of mandatory challenger John Ruiz.
Early thunder from Grant. Lewis tries to fire back. Grant said he would come out aggressively.
The undefeated Grant came out aggressively in the opening round, but Lewis caught him with a big right hand that floored him midway into the round.
Lewis lands an uppercut and Grant goes down. Thunderous uppercut.
That punch landed very high on the head.
Grant got back to his feet, but Lewis made him pay for his early aggression by dropping him 2 more times.
Rhodes held him up. Mercanti will count again. 2 knockdowns in the round. 5, no 3 knockdown 6, rule in a heavyweight 7, title fight. 8. Much damage.
Lewis has still got to beat. Whoa!
That should do it.
That's it.
That should do it.
That's it. He's broke his leg.
Don't be. I don't think Grant will get up from that. He's gonna try. 8. And Grant.
First round. Start all over again. There ain't a lot of room in the ring for them not to cover.
The end eventually came in round 2 after Lewis ended the show with a 4th knockdown.
Rounds can even get better for you.
Lewis missed the uppercut, landed. And for the moment, Lewis looks punched out as he lands another uppercut and floors Grant for the 4th time. 5, 6, 7. This time I don't think so. 9. That's it, man. That's it. That's it. That's it. I got you. The official particulars.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes at 2 minutes, 53 seconds into round number 2. The winner by...
In June 2000, Lewis made the next defense of his title against South African Francois Botha.
God bless you both, and may the best man win.
Первый раунд.
With only a minute left in the first round, Lewis stunned Botha with a right hook,
Ударил справа.
but the South African managed to remain on his feet until the end of the round.
Льюис Бота просел, а Льюис...
However, Lewis returned to end the fight with an emphatic knockout in the second round.
Вот так. Справа, слева, еще раз справа. В принципе, конечно, бой закончен. Вы видите, что так мелко пошатывало Боту.
Lewis made one more successful defense of his championship against David Tua before losing in a big upset to 20-1 underdog Hasim Rahman.
Chases Lewis across the ring. Shades of Oliver McCall, September 24, 1994, in London. Has Rahman pulled the upset? He has. He got a brand new heavyweight champion.
He sought an immediate rematch against Rahman in November 2001.
Is he the future, or does Lennox reclaim the crown? How wary will Lewis be behind his jab? He has to snap it up, and he's really throwing the punch with authority.
Lewis came fully prepared for the rematch and easily dominated Rahman throughout the fight before producing an outstanding knockout in the 4th round.
Starting to get his jab more powerful.
Oh! Wonderful shot by Lennox Lewis, and he's laid out Hasim Rahman. Is he going to get up from that? It was a fantastic shot, and Rahman will move very, very well. He will be stopped. It is over. Revenge, redemption for Lennox Lewis, 3-time heavyweight champion of the world for Great Britain, and he could not have been more sensational or sparkling or sizzling in doing it. There's the answer.
In June 2002, Lewis and former Undisputed champion Mike Tyson finally met in a highly anticipated matchup after multiple delays.
Lewis and Mike Tyson.
Tyson came out as the aggressor in the opening round in what happens to be his best round.
Tyson attacking Lewis, and Lewis comes right back. And go to that body, go hard, then make him the aggressor of the two. Lewis.
But from there, Lewis took control of the fight, handing Tyson more punishment than he had ever received in his career.
Point in the fight, the bad boy of boxing.
Spent 8 weeks teaching Mike.
He is a dangerous puncher.
Lewis leads on Tyson, connect with a right hand.
Tyson's lowering his head.
Jab right back. Tyson is hurt. Better do something. Lewis, another strong overhead right. Just 19 rounds. Lewis clearly the aggressor inside the ring. Exert force on Tyson. He can't take too many more of those right hands. Lewis keeps that up. That fight is gone.
Lewis ended the dominant performance with an emphatic knockout in the 8th round after dropping Tyson early in the round.
Knockout past the 7th round. Lennox Lewis tripling Mike Tyson with a big uppercut, and Eddie Cotton separates the fighter.
He's called it a knockdown.
7. Oh, he's doing a good job. He's got heart. You can't take that from him. Big right hand from Lewis, and Tyson goes down for the 3rd time in his career. 6, 7, 8, 9. It's over. Lennox Lewis cements his legacy as one of the best heavyweight champions of this era.
In June 2003, Lewis defended his championship against Ukrainian challenger and former WBO heavyweight champion Vitaly Klitschko.
Good luck to both of you. The strains of the Eagles Hotel, California. So will it be heaven? And James J. Corbett.
The up-and-coming Klitschko got off to a strong start against the 37-year-old Lewis, landing multiple hard punches that opened a cut under the champion's eye in round 2.
Upward short arm shots. He's beating Lewis to the punch. He rips him again with the right hand. Lewis momentarily wobbles. And now Lewis is still wobbly as Vitaly goes after him. Fight could tell off on Klitschko because that's a... You can bet Emmanuel Stewart's going to have a lot. It's heavy, Lennox Lewis. And Lennox Lewis's left eye is beginning to swell, and there may be blood under the eye. Vitaly Klitschko is roughing Lennox Lewis up as the 2nd round begins to come down the stretch.
There's a big welt over the eyes.
Lewis returned the favor in the 3rd round by leaving a deep cut above Klitschko's left eye, which got progressively worse as the fight continued.
There has never been a heavyweight.
That cut is bad. Klitschko is hurt. And he's into the fight. And Vitaly Klitschko's left eye.
Despite the injury, Klitschko gave Lewis a close fight, but the champion took advantage of his impaired vision to land several hard shots.
Staggers Klitschko momentarily. And good professional work by Lewis against the ribcage. Lewis trying to land a haymaker. Just throw the right hand and come back with the hook. By between rounds, and that's got to be a help to Lewis, as exhausted as he looks at through a blinded left eye. Oh, what an uppercut!
By the end of the 6th round, Klitschko was leading according to the scorecards, but the ringside doctor deemed his injury too serious for the fight to continue. The fight was stopped after the 6th round, and Lewis was awarded the victory by technical knockout. There were talks of a possible rematch, but the aging Lewis chose to retire, having defeated every opponent he faced. He retired with a record of 41 wins, with 32 of those coming by way of knockout, 2 losses, and 1 draw. Which of Lennox Lewis's knockouts is your favorite? Let us know your answer in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and turn on the post notifications.